about 75.6 degrees Fahrenheit, 24.2 degrees Celsius. I've got the fan here, it's springtime now. I'm trying Filmic Pro. I'm hoping that works. The screen just froze for a second. As you just saw, instead of the built-in camera app on the iPhone, as you just saw, I just pre-glued this hairpiece. The other hairpiece was really ugly, and I'd cut away that thing at the top, and it was just, I don't like it. Anyway, these are all the leftover back ends of hairpieces, as you can tell by the Auschwitz tag, just there, right? So I've pre-glued this. Now, as I was sort of moving it around, it was sticking to itself, and that is a problem that you have when you've got a pre-glued hairpiece like this. I pre-glued it with Dabbling Green. The reason I'm trying this is because I always have this problem when I glue up here around this perimeter area. I glue there, so it's perfect, right? But then I place down the hairpiece, and it's always got a little bit of an overlap or something like that, and that overlap is not glued properly. Now it is. The problem, of course, is going to be that when I smush it into position, it's going to put glue all around the hair and all around the side bits here when I squish it into position. I didn't glue the front leading edge of the hairpiece. I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't put alcohol on my scalp at all, and I should just place it to minimize. And see, that's another problem with this fan. I'm now got the hairs. I'm now having the hairs blowing onto the glue. Now that has had time to become tacky and dry, but it's not completely dry. It's glue, so it's going to be wet-ish. So if I don't position it correctly, I'm going to have to smush it around and make a mess. But I kind of need to move it around to get it perfect, right? So I don't exactly know what I'm going to do here. I could just try to hold it out by the temples, but then that often means that it lands too high or too low. So I feel like I should put the alcohol, because I'm going to have to smush it around a bit. Let's see how much mess it makes. Because if I can master this, then the perimeter will be glued perfectly, which it never is, and I need it to be. So let's see if I can make this land correctly. I'm just letting it sort of hover there, right? So I'm not pressing down on it at all. So just really gently, just one sticking point there. Hopefully this is equidistant on both sides. And I'm going to put that bit there. And maybe just that bit there, okay? So you can see how gently I'm touching it down, because I might have to move it, right? And that there, that seems about right. And that there. Okay. I'm already starting to sweat again. Alright. I feel like it's not lined up properly. Backwards, okay, let's see. It's doable. Just feeling for any kind of bends or folds or lumps in the plastic underneath. Making sure this is sort of stretched down to where I think it should land. Well, I think it's something that could be practiced and mastered. You can see the Ashwitz tag through there a bit. But this is medium, well, it says medium light density on Lord Hair's website when they talk about these poly pieces. Is it called S22? But it seems medium to me, medium density. That's why I'm less afraid of this Ashwitz tag showing through here. Well, that's definitely a very quick way to put your hairpiece on, isn't it? If you can do it correctly. I really did depend on this mirror, but I wasn't looking at the reflection of the mirror in the mirror. I was looking at the reflection of the mirror in the camera, which, yeah, it was exactly the same. My hand's on the right of me at the moment. It's my right hand, so. But it's on the right of, it's on the right of me looking at the screen right now. And it's on the right of there as well. It should be on your left. My hand right now should be on the left of your screen, but it's on the right of my screen. So looking through that at the camera and looking through that at the mirror are the same. So the reason I didn't glue that bit there is because when I smushed it around, I really didn't want to have glue smushed all around the front area here. So if it was pre-glued all through, I'm really starting to sweat a lot now. I think that was a wise thing. I don't think it would be easy enough to, well, first of all, you need to sort of hold onto the hairpiece as well. So it's covered in glue. You can get that on and stick to your fingers, and then you let go, and then hairs fly into it. And it'd just be a big mess, right? So I'm interested to see if this holds better than usual up here. And I better turn it down off as I glue this. And my sweat doesn't actually affect what I'm about to glue because I'm just gluing onto the poly. Looks like there are hairs stuck under there. How did that happen? They're my actual hairs, I can feel them. Oh no, well, I don't know. It's weird that there are hairs there. Okay. So I'm just going to let that dry for 15 minutes. Whiskey. I'm really hungover. It's not a good feeling. I've had the shakes. Which is opposite of how I felt yesterday after I went for a big walk. So that was interesting to feel good. My back didn't hurt as much after the big walk. So 2 days in a row I walked about 4.5 kilometers. It's about 3 miles, I suppose. Is it? I don't know. Yeah, it's a bit annoying that I feel I have to translate for the United States of incompatibility. Seems pretty low. It's way too low. It should be up to about there. So, I mean, this is too far forward. Seems alright. Alright, good to go. See you next time. Not concentrating properly. You might think that's way too long. I think it is. It's too long, but I need some weight in it. And the last hairpiece, all those back hairs were sticking up the whole time. That is a low hairline. What it did, I don't really feel like I want to do it now, but over the next day or so, I'm going to chop that out. In fact, maybe I'll just wait until I feel a little bit less hungover, and I'll do it in this video. Just give me a bit of time to lie down and get drunk. Look at my soft, flowing, beautiful hair. Now, you wonder sometimes about the realism of being able to see through the hairpiece into the scalp. Gee, there's a real delay on this camera. It's strange with Filmic Pro. But also, YouTube has just been dropping out. I start the app and then it just drops out straight away. Doesn't matter what's happening. I mostly use YouTube on my computer compared to my phone, but I use the app on the phone as well, so it's a pain that just drops out. Premium is worth it, by the way, although you're not going to get any ads. And it is good to have premium. It's about $9 a month, I think. Just get rid of all the ads on YouTube. But the thing is, I monetize my site, my channel, so don't do it. No, but do it. Anyway, depends how much you use YouTube. This is good, isn't it? Except when you look close up, you can see very clearly what's going on here. What's that there? Is that a bit of glue or something? Don't know what that is. So you can see here clearly the direction of the V-loop rows. Now I just had to explain to somebody what V-loops, horizontal V-loops are. I mean, I've been talking about it for a long time. I just assume you all know that V-loops are stitched in rows and you want them to be parallel going nose to spine, and they all are at the front of a new hairpiece, right? If you wear the entire hairpiece, but because I cut two out from one hairpiece to economize, stock pieces can just be bought off the shelf and delivered within about a week, right? I've ordered 4 custom pieces, rectangles, because I was sick of these back halves, like the one I've got on now and the one I just took off. But it's going to take months. It's ridiculous how long it takes. I hate it. They should just sell partials off the shelf, stock partials, but they haven't done it. I mean, they've got this one thing that does that if your hair is patterned like that or something back here, but I haven't seen that baldness pattern. I mean, mine is receded like that, but it still came right down to its original starting point. I have to shave that a bit out. So their little design, which is a big U shape, it doesn't seem to make any sense. And the density would be different between there and your middle bit where it's receding as well. Usually, it doesn't seem like it would work at all. I'm quite surprised about what hair companies decide to sell. People just buy it because they think, well, the hair company would know. They're just not logical decisions that they're making, and they're just selling it to you anyway. And because you're buying it, they're going, oh yeah, we did a good job with that. But it just doesn't actually make sense. I mean, look at the way they've stitched this. Why don't they stitch it all the way through? I think they must try to make it look nice, and it takes more effort or something when they're doing the front of the hairpiece to make sure that they are going nose to spine with the V-loop rows. But then around the back they just go, stitching around the edge, or back edge. This is the back edge. So that's why they're going all horizontal and stuff. I have bleached them, which improves it, but I wouldn't wear a non-bleached hairline given my skin color and my hair color being darker than my skin color. So that fluctuation, that difference, that variance between light skin, dark hair, it's too obvious to have a wall of hair, right? So even there, it looks pretty natural to see because of the bleaching, the way it transitions like that. By the way, I've been feeling back here, and usually after I put a hairpiece on, there's a little bit of unglued area all the way around the back perimeter. With the pre-glued hairpiece, that is totally not happening. I'm really happy with the result of pre-gluing it. It's awkward to put it on like that, but it seems like it's going to be worth it forever. Okay, so just coming back in this room made me sweaty again. Okay, so my hairline is too low. Your hairline should begin after the top nub of your forehead. I'm going to have to stop using this app because it's not responding in real time. Yeah, even though it looks sort of semi-acceptable, right? It's not acceptable because I can feel it. Like, it's almost like sticking my forehead down when it's trying to express itself, you know what I mean? And as I've said, your forehead sweats a lot more than the rest of your scalp. There's a 6mm guard on that. So I want to lift this up and cut it back. Incidentally, when I did bleach this, I always bleach all the hair pieces at the same time. After I've cut them out, I just line them all up and just bleach. I went in about an inch deep with the bleach. So it gives me an allowance to cut away a little bit at the front. I'm hoping I've bleached it enough so that when I cut it back to about there, it will still be enough bleach back there at the new hairline. Yeah. This just to examine what poly 0.03mm looks like right up close, right? That's what it looks like. So putting pinking shears along this, I don't know if it'll make any difference. It should, if it was rose, it would be, I probably wouldn't ever think about using pinking shears. So they're on their way in the mail now. But I'll see, they might be useful for something. It's hard to even get my fingernail under here. Okay, cool. Generally have to cut twice on these things because it will leave little lines. My head is actually wet, my forehead. this probably could have been avoided if I had stretched into the exact right spot, because I mean it is plastic, it is flexible, so I could have sort of left it a bit higher. Unfortunately, that's a bit red and stuff like that, so it's... Yes, this is the thing. So when I'm hearing myself back through the headphones as I speak, Filmic Pro is completely different from... No, this is too annoying. I wonder if it'll automatically switch mics if I take these off. That seems right, doesn't it? 222. Okay, sorry. By the way, this is what you look like right now. Filmic Pro. See, it's different from the usual. It's different from the usual camera app. Yeah, so I mean, this length seems alright, doesn't it? The perimeter is, well, it's glued in nicely. It seems like a perfect kind of perimeter. And you see this sort of sticking upness? I still have to probably put some hair product in it. I'll do that now. Probably just leave it long like that. I don't know about that there, maybe. I don't know. Anyway. Today, I think I will use muck. So we're in great weather. We're under extreme lockdown here in Melbourne, stage 4. We're under more restrictions. The police are actually grabbing people by the throat and forcing them to wear masks. If you're out past 8 PM, you get a fine, and I guess you get arrested if you're not near your house. You can't go more than 5 kilometres from your house as well. You can only be outside for 1 hour a day. It was just you and me, kid. I'm going to spray a bit of water in there and brush it. My hair isn't really that brushable. It usually just buffs up when I brush it. Because I mean, look at the back and everything. It's not really, it's not straight hair or anything. These little tails. Maybe we should just cut that. So I mean, I'm hoping when you watch how shoddy my workmanship is on this kind of just cut the hair without any real forethought or anything, you'll think, I can do that. I don't want you to think I'm good at stuff and you can't do it. I want you to think that you can do everything that I'm doing, right? If I'm doing something that looks hard to you, then I've failed. You should be able to cut your own hair. At least your own hair piece. I don't know how people who have hair pieces that aren't cut get them cut. I guess you go to the hairdresser, right? Well, hairdressers aren't open in Melbourne anyway, not for the last few months, so that wouldn't have been an option if you lived in Melbourne. I don't know about your country, if your hairdressers are still allowed to be open at the moment during the COVID crisis. Not a great style, I don't think. Anyway, I feel like after a couple of hours this will warm up from my body heat and look a bit better. But I might have to cut it to conform if this doesn't work out nicely. Yeah, the muck kind of just sort of melts over time. So yeah, maybe I won't just jump into publishing this immediately. Maybe I'll wait and show you what this looks like in a couple of hours from now. You can see it's daylight out that window. Next time I come back, it won't have any light coming through it. Unless I forget about this filming and then I just wait until tomorrow and go, shit, I should finish that video. And then it'll be daylight again, but it won't be because I'll finish it tonight. Probably edit it tonight as well. Yeah. Okay, so this is what my hair looks like after however long it's been on the clock. Okay. Just heat it up. So basically hair product changes, especially muck, which is clay. It becomes softer and sort of melds in better, I guess, over time. So that's what it looks like.